What happens when two powerhouse personalities clash live on television and everything goes wrong? Today we're diving into the most explosive moment in The View's history. When Joy Behar and Jennifer Lopez went head-to-head in an argument so heated that it ended with Joy walking off the show for good. This isn't just another celebrity spat. This is career-ending drama that unfolded in front of millions of viewers. Make sure to subscribe and drop a comment, because you won't believe how this escalated. It started as what seemed like a routine interview. Jennifer Lopez had arrived at the View studios looking absolutely stunning in a cream-colored blazer, her hair perfectly styled, ready to promote her latest project. The makeup team had done their usual magic. The lighting was perfect, and the cameras were rolling. Joy Behar, sitting in her usual spot, had her notes prepared and seemed ready for what everyone expected to be a friendly chat. "Welcome back to The View," Joy said with her signature smile, "and we're here with the incredible Jennifer Lopez." "Jenny, it's always such a pleasure to have you here." Jennifer smiled warmly, crossing her legs elegantly. "Thank you for having me, Joy. I love coming on the show." The conversation started innocently enough. They talked about Jennifer's new business ventures, her recent performances, and her family life. Joy complimented her on her timeless beauty and work ethic. The audience was engaged, laughing at Joy's jokes and applauding Jennifer's responses. Everything seemed perfectly normal. "So, Jenny," Joy continued, leaning forward slightly, "you've been in this business for decades now. You've seen a lot of changes, especially with how women are treated in entertainment. What's your take on cancel culture and accountability?" Jennifer's expression shifted almost imperceptibly. "Well, Joy, I think it's complicated. I believe in accountability. Absolutely. But I also think we need to be careful about destroying people's lives over mistakes or misunderstandings." Joy nodded. But there was something in her eyes that suggested she wasn't satisfied with that response. "That's interesting. Because there have been some recent stories about certain celebrities, and I'm wondering if you think there should be different standards for different people." The question hung in the air for a moment. Jennifer's media training kicked in, and she maintained her composure. But viewers could sense a slight tension building. "I'm not sure what you're referring to specifically," Jennifer replied carefully. "But I think everyone deserves to be treated fairly, regardless of their status. They han. 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 They han." Joy's smile became a bit more forced. "Really? Because I've heard some interesting things about how certain people in Hollywood operate. People who might present one image to the public but behave very differently behind the scenes." The studio audience began to pick up on the shift in energy. Jennifer's publicist, sitting off camera, looked visibly uncomfortable. The other hosts exchanged glances, uncertain about where Joy was taking this conversation. "Joy," Jennifer said, her voice still controlled but with a slight edge, "I'm here to talk about my work and my projects. If you have something specific you want to discuss, maybe you should just say it directly." That's when Joy made the decision that would change everything. Instead of backing down or redirecting the conversation, she doubled down. "Okay, let's be direct then," Joy said, her voice taking on a sharper tone. "There are rumors, Jennifer, about your behavior on sets, about how you treat people who work for you. Some very credible sources have painted a picture that's quite different from the image you present here." The studio fell completely silent. Jennifer's face showed a flash of genuine surprise and anger before she composed herself again. "I'm sorry, what exactly are you accusing me of?" Jennifer asked, her voice calm but her eyes blazing. Joy realized she had crossed a line, but instead of retreating, she seemed to lean into it. "I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm asking you to address the allegations that have been made." "What allegations?" Jennifer's voice was getting louder now. "You're sitting here making vague insinuations without any specifics. This is supposed to be an interview. not an ambush. The tension in the studio was palpable. Camera operators were getting signals from the control room, but no one was sure whether to keep rolling or cut to commercial. Joy's co-hosts looked frozen, uncertain whether to intervene or let this play out. I think our viewers deserve to know the truth about the celebrities they support, Joy continued, seemingly oblivious to how badly this was going. And if there are questions about your character, don't you think you should address them? Jennifer stood up slowly, her composure finally cracking. My character? You want to talk about character? Let's talk about ambushing a guest on live television with unnamed sources and unspecified allegations. Let's talk about the character it takes to smile in someone's face and then attack them. The audience was completely silent now, watching this unprecedented moment unfold. Joy, perhaps realizing she had made a serious mistake, tried to backtrack. Jennifer. You were just what? Jennifer interrupted, her voice cutting through Joy's attempted explanation. You were just trying to create drama for ratings? You were just trying to tear down another woman for entertainment? Joy's face flushed red as Jennifer's words hit their mark. The veteran talk show host wasn't used to being challenged so directly, especially not on her own show. She could feel the eyes of millions of viewers watching this disaster unfold in real time. Now wait just a minute, Joy shot back, her voice rising. I've been doing this job for years, and I have every right to ask tough questions. That's what journalism is about. Jennifer let out a bitter laugh that echoed through the silent studio. Journalism? Is that what you call this? Where are your sources? Where are your facts? You're sitting here making accusations based on gossip and rumors. The other hosts finally tried to intervene. Whoopi attempted to jump in with, Ladies, maybe we should. No, Jennifer said firmly, holding up her hand without taking her eyes off Joy. Let her explain herself. I want to hear Joy tell me exactly what she thinks I've done wrong. Joy's confidence was clearly shaking, but pride wouldn't let her back down. There have been reports about your behavior on movie sets, about demanding special treatment, about being difficult to work with. Reports from who? Jennifer demanded. Name one person. Give me one specific example. You can't just throw around vague accusations and call it journalism. The tension was so thick it was suffocating. Joy's hands were visibly trembling as she shuffled through her notes, looking for something, anything, to support what she had started. I can't reveal my sources, Joy stammered. That's how journalism works. Jennifer's eyes narrowed. Your sources? Joy, we both know you don't have sources. You're repeating tabloid garbage and trying to pass it off as legitimate questioning. That hit a nerve. Joy's face went from red to purple. How dare you question my integrity? I've been in this business longer than you've been famous. And that's supposed to give you the right to ambush people? Jennifer fired back. Experience should have taught you better, not made you more reckless. The studio audience was completely captivated by this unprecedented showdown. Some were reaching for their phones to record, while others sat with their mouths hanging open in disbelief. Joy stood up abruptly, matching Jennifer's stance. I don't have to take this kind of disrespect from anyone, especially not from someone who thinks they're above being held accountable. Accountable for what? Jennifer's voice was getting louder, her famous composure completely gone now. You keep saying that word like it means something in this context. What exactly am I supposed to be accountable for? Working hard? Being successful? Having standards? Having standards? Joy repeated mockingly. Is that what you call treating people like servants? Jennifer's jaw dropped. Servants? What are you even talking about? Do you hear yourself right now? You're making things up as you go along. The control room was in chaos. Producers were frantically trying to decide whether to cut the feed, but the ratings were probably through the roof. This was television gold, even if it was a complete disaster. I am not making anything up, Joy insisted, but her voice lacked conviction. There are people who have worked with you, who have very different stories to tell. Then bring them on the show, Jennifer challenged. If you have these people, if you have these stories, then present them properly. Don't hide behind anonymous rumors like some gossip blogger. Joy's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. She clearly didn't have anyone to bring forward, and Jennifer had called her bluff perfectly. That's what I thought, Jennifer continued, seeing Joy's hesitation. You don't have anything real. You're just stirring up drama because your ratings need a boost. That was the final straw for Joy. Her face contorted with rage. My ratings? My ratings? Let me tell you something about ratings, Miss Lopez. This show was successful long before you started coming on here, and it'll be successful long after people forget about your latest project. Is that a threat? Jennifer asked, her voice dangerously quiet. It's a reality check. Joy snapped. You think you can come on here and disrespect me on my own show? You think your celebrity status makes you untouchable? Jennifer stepped closer to Joy, and for a moment it looked like things might get physical. The audience gasped audibly. Joy's face went white, then red again. Desperation? You want to talk about desperation? Let's talk about someone who's been recycling the same image for 20 years. At least I have an image worth recycling, Jennifer shot back without missing a beat. What's your image, Joy? The bitter woman who tears down other women for sport? The silence that followed was deafening. Joy's mouth hung open, completely stunned by the comeback. She looked around the studio as if seeing it for the first time. Realizing that she had lost control of everything, the studio remained frozen in that moment of absolute silence. Joy's face cycled through emotions like a broken traffic light. Red with anger, white with shock, then red again with embarrassment. She could feel the weight of millions of eyes watching her complete professional meltdown. You know what? Joy finally said, her voice shaking with barely controlled fury. I don't have to sit here and take this kind of abuse from someone who thinks they're better than everyone else. Jennifer crossed her arms, her stance unwavering. Abuse? I'm defending myself against your baseless attacks. If you can't handle being challenged when you're wrong, maybe television isn't the right career for you. That comment hit Joy like a physical blow. Her eyes went wide with disbelief. Are you seriously trying to tell me how to do my job? On my own show? Someone needs to, Jennifer replied coolly. Because what you just did wasn't journalism. It wasn't entertainment. And it certainly wasn't professional. Joy's hands were clenched into fists at her sides. Professional? You want to lecture me about being professional? I've been hosting shows since before you knew what a camera was. And yet here you are, acting like an amateur. Jennifer shot back. Experience doesn't mean anything if you don't learn from it. The other hosts were completely paralyzed. This had gone so far beyond anything they could salvage that intervention seemed impossible. Whoopi kept starting to speak and then stopping, while the others just stared in horrified fascination. That's it, Joy announced suddenly, yanking off her earpiece with such force that it bounced off the table. I am done. I am absolutely done with this disrespect. Joy, wait. Whoopi finally found her voice, reaching out toward her colleague. No. Joy snapped, turning her fury toward Whoopi for a split second, before focusing back on Jennifer. This woman comes on our show, insults me, questions my integrity, and tries to tell me how to do my job. I won't stand for it. Jennifer remained perfectly calm, which only seemed to enrage Joy further. I didn't insult you, Joy. I defended myself against your unprovoked attack. If you feel insulted, maybe you should examine your own behavior. My behavior? Joy's voice cracked with indignation. I asked legitimate questions about legitimate concerns? I? No, you didn't, Jennifer said firmly. You made vague accusations without any evidence to back them up. That's not journalism. That's gossip mongering. Joy spun around to face the camera directly, addressing the audience with wild gesticulations. You see this? America? This is what happens when celebrities think they're above accountability. They attack the messenger instead of addressing the message. What message? Jennifer demanded from behind her. You never had a message, just innuendo and rumors. Joy whirled back around, pointing an accusatory finger. Don't you dare try to gaslight me and this audience. We all heard what we heard. Yes, we did, Jennifer agreed. We heard you make accusations you couldn't support, ask questions based on unnamed sources, and then get angry when called out for it. The control room was sending frantic signals to cut to commercial, but Joy was beyond caring about production schedules or television protocol. You know what, Jennifer? Joy's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper that somehow carried more menace than her shouting had. I've been in this business long enough to know when someone is putting on an act. And your whole sweet, hard-working, family woman routine? It's getting old. Jennifer's composure finally cracked slightly. Excuse me? My family is off limits. Is it? Joy challenged. Because you sure don't mind using them for publicity. When it suits you. That was the line that should never have been crossed. Jennifer's eyes blazed with a fury that made her previous anger look mild. How dare you, she said, her voice deadly quiet. How dare you bring my children into your petty jealousy, tantrum. Jealousy? Joy laughed, but it was a harsh, bitter sound. Jealous of what? Your revolving door of relationships? Your manufactured career? Your desperate need for constant attention? The audience gasped in unison. Even the camera operators looked shocked. Jennifer took a step forward, and for a moment everyone thought she might actually strike Joy. You're pathetic, Jennifer said with ice-cold precision. Absolutely pathetic. A bitter, unsuccessful woman who tears down others because she can't build herself up. Joy's face went completely white. Unsuccessful? I've had a career in television for decades. And what do you have to show for it? Jennifer pressed her advantage mercilessly. A reputation as the mean girl who attacks guests? The host who can't control her own emotions? The woman who just had a complete breakdown on live television? Joy looked around the studio wildly, as if suddenly realizing where she was and what she had done. The magnitude of her professional suicide began to dawn on her face. This is ridiculous, she said weakly, but the fight had gone out of her voice. I don't have to stay here for this. No, you don't, Jennifer agreed. And honestly, at this point, I don't think anyone wants you to. Joy grabbed her purse from under the desk with shaking hands. Fine. I'm done. I quit. I quit this show. I quit this network. I quit all of it. The studio erupted in shocked murmurs. Joy stormed toward the exit, then stopped and turned back one final time. And you, she pointed at Jennifer, you'll get what's coming to you. The truth always comes out eventually. Jennifer stood perfectly still, watching Joy's dramatic exit with an expression of pure disdain. The truth already came out, Joy. We all just watched it. The door slammed behind Joy with a finality that echoed through the stunned studio. Jennifer slowly sat back down in her chair, smoothing her blazer as if nothing had happened. Well, she said to the remaining hosts and the speechless audience, should we talk about my new project now? And that's how one of television's most explosive confrontations ended, with Jennifer Lopez sitting calmly in her chair while Joy Behar's career at The View came to a crashing halt. Make sure to subscribe for more incredible celebrity drama stories, and comment below with your thoughts on who was right in this legendary showdown.